Oh, hey YouTube, what's really good? My name is Vivid and the WBE Finals just happened. You already knew we were going to be analyzing this match. If you have not seen it yet, if you haven't seen it from either Aaron's side or Wolf's side, go watch it now. This is your one spoiler warning, and I'm going to spoil it for you in 3, 2, 1. WBE still stands for Wolfey beats everybody. And I predicted wrong again. I'm not very good at this prediction thing. I will have to get better at it. It seems like the opposite of what I say, or the opposite of what I'm going with, what my gut feeling says. That's always what happens. So from now on, I'm just going to go with the opposite of what I think will happen to predict. Really though, I could have seen either of these players taking home the title. So we're going to get into this match. We're going to analyze it. Before we do, I have a few quick things I want to say. The first is that the incredibly awesome Evolution Among Us crossover shirt is no longer on Teespring. They had a problem with the design. Now it's hosted on my Stream Elements merch store. That will be the top link in the description down below. I think this design is fantastic. Go grab it while you still can. The other announcement is that I have been doing a lot of live streaming here on YouTube. If you have been in those live streams, you can attest to how much fun they are. If you haven't been in those live streams, you should definitely, one, make sure you're subscribed, because most of my views are coming from people who aren't subscribed. And if you're not subscribed, you're not going to get notified when I am live. 2, turn on notifications so you know when I go live. That's it. It would mean a lot to me. I would love to have you on this YouTube journey, but now let's just talk about Aaron versus Wolf. All right, so jumping right into this matchup, I think it's important to start by talking about the teams that both players had access to. So Wolf brought Focus Sash Scrafty, Grassy Seed Driftblim, Assault Vest Rillaboom, White Herb Escavalier, Mental Herb Musharna, and Choice Band Dracovish, or just Mono Herb Aggro. And then Aaron has access to Weakness Policy Excadrill, Focus Sash Gigalith, Life Orb Noivern, Rindo Berry Primarina, Choice Scarf Toxtricity, and Koba Berry Whimsicott. If we start comparing these two teams, and especially the modes that they're bringing, you really see how Wolf pulled ahead in sort of like the percentage points here and actually came out on top with the win. If we just start comparing the teams, Wolf has a Trick Room mode and he has really strong Trick Room components. Aaron doesn't have anything that plays well inside Trick Room outside of Gigalith, which does not do well against Wolf's main Trick Room piece. Wolf also has a Rillaboom Driftblim mode that is really strong, and it also makes Choice Band Dracovish kind of threatening in this match. Choice Band Dracovish is not something I thought was going to come, but I guess if you just count the raw damage output and then the fact that Driftblim can double its speed and then Icy Wind other threats down so Dracovish can outspeed them, it makes a lot of sense in a best 2 out of 3 format. But Wolf's main mode going in here was just Scrafty Musharna. If you look at Aaron's team, again, he doesn't have threats that play well inside Trick Room. Noivern looks really solid offensively, but it has to do a lot on turn 1, and he has to stop Trick Room from going up. So we're going to just jump into the match here and show you how the opening turns went, and then we're going to talk about why what happened. One last quick thing, in the comment section down below, I would like you to answer a few questions. 1, which Pokemon out of the entire season, out of the entire league, do you think was the MVP? Like, which Pokemon do you think did the most work out of the entire league? 2, what Pokemon do you think was the MVP in this specific battle? Like, it can be Aaron's MVP, Wolf's MVP, you can tell me both. Like, which Pokemon do you think put in the most work in this battle? And 3, what Pokemon surprised you this season? Honestly, I'm going to answer this one, and then I'm going to leave the rest up to you. The Pokemon that surprised me the most was Turtonator and how Dan used it. I think he made Turtonator a reasonable Pokemon, and that was something I didn't think was possible. Okay, let's get into this. All right, so we're here on Aaron's side for game 1, and then we're going to jump over to Wolf's side for game 2, kind of talking about the early plays and pivotal moments of each game that snowballed a victory for Wolf. Really quickly, sidebar, I think the thing that shocks me the most about this battle is that it was a 2-game set and not a 3-game set. Regardless of my prediction, I know that you can't ever fully vote against Wolf, especially if he is locked in. He is a monster. Once again, these two players, best players in the world, amongst the best players in the world, definitely the best players in this league. And I don't know, you know, I'm just analyzing what's happening here. Please don't take this as me saying I'm better than either of them, because I know in my soul I am not. But yeah, that is the thing that surprised me the most. Okay, let's just jump in. You see that Aaron here is going to lead with Noivern and Whimsicott. He's also going to bring the Primarina and the Tox here. I think he nails Wolf's lead. He knows that the best lead for Wolf to set up Trick Room is Scrafty Musharna. He nails that. His counterplay is Noivern, Whimsicott. So we see he calls it correctly. Wolf does in fact lead Scrafty Musharna. He leads with his Noivern and Whimsicott. His plan here is to helping hand his Noivern. He's going to max his Noivern and go from max Phantasm into the Musharna slot. This is the problem with the plan. This plan, I don't think calculated. I don't even have to say I think. I know it didn't, because he admits it in the battle. I'm not saying this like I knew this going into watching this battle the first time. The problem with this is he didn't calculate for max special defense, max HP Musharna. So whenever we get to this turn, you're going to see that yes, this was a very smart plan. I think he had the right idea by trying to KO the Musharna. I think the only other thing you might could do, and I don't even know if this works mechanically, the only other thing that could work, because you have to expect mental herb Musharna, right? So that it can't be taunted, is you could double taunt it. You could taunt, but then you're falling prey to fake out. Either way, I guess there's really not anything you could do. Fake out pressure is so good here. I always forget about fake out because my initial reaction was thinking that he could bring Imprison Bronzong, and Imprison Bronzong could just imprison the Trick Room. I think there is something to be said that Bronzong could be very good here. It would be the slowest threat. You would have to fake out it still to maybe count for the Imprison, but it doesn't do a lot outside of that. Anyways, what you see here, what happened is that the Musharna lived on what I can only assume is like 5%, and then it just gets up the Trick Room for free. I don't think this roll was in Aaron's favor. I think they talked about it, and the percentage was roughly 19 or 25% to Oko Musharna, with, you know, the Helping Hand, Life Orb boosted Max Phantasm. It's just, I don't remember. I think it came down to if the Noivern was timid or modest, right? I think is what the roll came down to. Either way, it just didn't account for Max Special Defense Musharna. I think trying to KO the Musharna was a smart line. I think that there are maybe some other things that could have been done. Aaron talks about this at the end of his video. I'm not going to reiterate that. But yeah, what you see here is that basically this just snowballs the game for Wolfe. Aaron's team is not made to be played inside Trick Room. His only good piece inside Trick Room is Gigalith, and he didn't even bring it. The only thing on his team that is even remotely slow is Primarina, and Primarina doesn't underspeed Wolfe's good threats. Like, his Tox is basically useless because it's Choice Scarf. His Noivern is so fast it's useless. His Whimsicott is so fast. I mean, they're not useless, right? But now the tide is completely shifted. Aaron has won most of his battles off of having fantastic speed control. Now we see that Wolfe has all this momentum. Musharna and Scrafty are still in play. Aaron has lost a threat. It's just honestly, like, this is the moment that snowballed this game. It is. It's turn one. Turn one, not being able to KO the Musharna snowballed the game. If you take fake out of the equation, would double taunt work? I just want to know. Like, I'm assuming Mental Herb doesn't protect it twice in the same turn. That's just a random thought before we jump over to Wolfe's side. But let's go ahead and let's skip to the end of this battle, and then we're going to jump over to Wolfe's side. All right, so we're in a position where Wolfe has lost both of his lead mons. He's lost the Musharna, he's lost the Scrafty. He's just down to Rillaboom and a Scavalier, but he has Trick Room turns. The Rillaboom doesn't need to be faster than anything. It gets priority Grassy Glides inside this terrain. A Scavalier is a monster. Aaron doesn't have his max left. Wolfe gets to max a Scavalier, and this is just how he takes the game home. The combination of these two Pokemon is just really solid against Aaron's team. I don't know that this crit mattered. I mean, it's worth noting Wolfe crits the Toxtricity with a max Steel Spike here. I don't know if it mattered. I don't know. I don't know if that mattered. What I do know is that the combination of the two Pokemon that are left on the field, the Primarina and the Toxtricity, are not really enough to win this game. And then I think from this point, unless this is a turn before, so Aaron goes into his Noivern, but what you're gonna see here is you're actually gonna see him forfeit before Rindoberry, I think, or maybe not. I don't remember if he hides the Rindoberry or not. I know that Wolfe gets out really lucky this game because, like we talked about, his Escavalier is actually White Herb, which negates stat drops, which is massive because Aaron brought Charm on his Whimsicott. That way he could charm the Escavalier and lower its attack, make it less of a threat. Hiding the White Herb here, not necessarily like hiding it intentionally, but making it to where it didn't get seen in game one, it is massive. I think this is the last turn of the game, so we're gonna let it play out really quickly. I'm having trouble remembering exactly how things worked. So Steel Spike goes into the Noivern. I think the Rillaboom is gonna Grassy Glide into the Prim. It's gonna reveal the Rindoberry, but at this point it's Prim versus the world, and you're not living another Grassy Glide, right? Or did not Grassy Glide? Oh, Knockoff. Interesting. Oh, this is what reveals the Rindoberry. Okay, all right. So Knockoff into the Prim reveals the Rindoberry. I guess the double up there was into Noivern, or I don't know. I don't remember exactly what happened on Wolfe's end, but the moral of the story, like the end goal, like what happens here is that it's Primarina versus the world. Trick Room's still up. It doesn't underspeed a Scavalier. It's not going to underspeed Rillaboom. Rillaboom's going to be able to bop it with a Grassy Glide. If Rillaboom didn't, a Scavalier would be able to eat up hits and still KO. So Wolfe just snowballed turn one. We said that. We're going to jump over to Wolfe's side and talk about what happened. All right, so we're here on Wolfe's side now. We're going to see that he brings the same 4 Pokemon that he brought game 1. Aaron too brought the same 4 Pokemon, so basically just a mirror match. And honestly, this is a tough spot to be in for Aaron, right? Like, you know that you're your Noivern has a chance to not OHKO. I believe the calc was ran and it's not a calc that was in his favor. So what do you even do on turn 1 to give yourself better odds? He runs back the same thing. I get it. I think that maybe there was some positioning that could have been changed. I don't know. Again, it's really hard for me to look back on this and analyze it and say like, oh, I think he should have done this, because obviously, once again, hindsight is 2020. I know that, I understand that, but it's also just really hard to look at it and say like, I need to run back the same strategy and take the bad odds of getting the OHKO, which is what happens here. It's the same turn 1. Scrafty's going to go for fake out into the Whimsicott. Whimsicott's going to go for helping hand in the Noivern. Noivern's going to max and use Max Phantasm into the Musharna, and then Musharna's going to go for Trick Room. And I mean, I think it's pretty much spoiled by the fact that we already said that this was only a 2-game set, but turn 1 plays out in the exact same way. It is the exact same turn 1. There is one key thing that I think really helped Wolfe win game 2 outside of this that happens in the future, and we're just going to watch turn 1 play out. Again, it's the same turn. Very anticlimactic. It would have been, I mean, it would have been hype had the Noivern got the KO here, because then I think we potentially would have went to a 3-game set. I think if Musharna doesn't get up Trick Room, Aaron is in such good position, but the Musharna is living on 12 here. So what we're going to do is we're going to skip forward, and there is one turn that we're actually going to listen to Wolfe's commentary on, because I think it's really impressive. All right, so we're here in the critical turn where I think Wolfe just used the analytic side of his brain to make sure he secured the victory. Like getting up Trick Room, big boon for his strategy, but this is the turn that I think really is very impressive and shows a lot of skill and just kind of demonstrates the skill level that these two players are on that a lot of other people in the league were not. Okay, so Aaron's going to switch out his Whimsicott into Toxtricity. What's going to happen here is Musharna's going to helping hand to the Scrafty. Scrafty's going to Ice Punch into the Noivern. Noivern actually lives, and then this happens. Noivern goes from Max Flare. This is a pretty inconspicuous turn, other than the fact that Noivern went for Max Flare. I mean, you would expect maybe Max Gust Blitz Blast. What is the wind one? Max Airstream, or maybe Max the Dragon one. Why am I not remembering these names? Max Warmwind. You would imagine that either of those moves would happen because they would do much more damage. The Max Flare here, it doesn't make a ton of sense, but Wolfe sniffs it out really quickly, and this is something that I think is impressive.
Actually, I don't understand Flare at all there, I'll be honest. Okay, Toxtricity doesn't have any priority moves, so I'm going to Psychic the Toxtricity and Poison Jab the Noivern, I think. Although I will go down here, and then what happens? Wait, who gets Weather Ball? Someone's got Weather Ball. Someone's got Weather Ball. Someone has a Weather Ball. That's why he's sitting Flare up, because Flare doesn't make any sense there if you're not using Weather Ball. Toxtricity, okay. Primarina. Primarina has Weather Ball. Okay, I got it. I see it.
So Wolfe correctly susses out here that Aaron has brought Weather Ball in his Primarina, and he was using Noivern to set up Sun to give Primarina a super effective move to hit the Escavalier and the Rillaboom. This, I think, is one of the most impressive things that happened in this entire game. Wolfe gets this information that seems kind of random, and I think a lot of players would kind of brush over as maybe you're predicting a switch, or, you know, I think like that is what I would think, right? Like, oh, if someone used Max Flare against me, maybe they thought I was going to switch the Scrafty out, predicting like Max Airstream or Max Wormwind, something like that. But no, Aaron was in fact setting up Sun for Weather Ball, and that's a big call. That's a big call. Don't get me wrong. I think that Flare there does make sense if you are predicting a switch, which is why that this is such a display of the skill level happening here. And honestly, it let him play around his in-game much more effectively. We're gonna go to the last turn of the game, or one of the final turns of the game, and just show how that happened. All right, so on this turn, Wolfe knows he's still inside Trick Room. I do believe it's his last turn of Trick Room, so he could max his Escavalier here, but he correctly doesn't do that. He actually just uses this turn to pick up a KO to get some damage on the Primarina. Not that I think he was in the worst position in the world here, but just the level of caution and the level of restraint that goes into like using this information to benefit you in the most. And this is, again, he's revealing the White Herb here. The Whimsicott's going for Charm onto the Escavalier. It doesn't work. Escavalier goes for Ironhead, picks up the KO or does pick up the KO, almost picks up the KO on the Whimsicott. Musharna psychics in the Whimsicott. It doesn't get damage on the Primarina. I'm forgetting this entire sequence here. But the Primarina goes for Weather Ball on the Escavalier. I don't know if that would have KO'd if the Escavalier would have maxed, but it's worth noting that now it's lights, right? Like it's curtains. The Rillaboom gets to come in and max, and then regardless of what happens, the game is over. Yeah, that's it. That's the way the game plays out. The Rillaboom comes in, it maxes, the Musharna goes for a helping hand, and it's just max overgrowth or max drum solo into the Prim slot, and that's game. In a world where Wolfe maxed his Escavalier here, and in a world where Primarina Oko's Escavalier maxed, again, I don't know the calc on that. I'm assuming it might happen. Wolfe actually has a shot to lose this game, because then you probably don't Oko the Primarina through Rindo Berry with helping hand, Grassy Glide, and then the Prim probably gets the Oko on Rillaboom. Actually, probably not. The Rillaboom was AV. I think the game is locked up either way, but just I think the level of caution and restraint here that went into this play, it's really striking, and it's, again, the sign that not only Wolfe played his mind out this game, but Aaron as well. They're just like the top tier players. Again, I can't sing their praises enough. So that was the WBE Finals. Again, the WBE stands for Wolfey beats everybody, which is insane. Wolfe is now, I think, the 4-time champion of the WBE. We've got to stop this man at some point. Like, one of us has to dethrone him from this. He didn't win last season. Last season was won by Kyle A. Big shout outs to Kyle A. It was Kyle A and Magnitude Steve inside the finals. That was hype, but man, Wolfe is really consistently very good at this game. And also, dude, big shout outs to Aaron. He played an immaculate season almost. Like, I think he only lost one match in the season. We've talked about this. It was a weird match. He lost to some, I think he just lost essentially to like some ally switch shenanigans, which, not to sell the person he was playing against short, which I believe was Versus Network. Like, Versus played really well, but it is pretty easy to get frustrated or tilted to ally switch shenanigans. Either way, we're off topic here. This, it was a bang up finals. Again, we talked about this in the prediction video. This was a masterclass in prep. If you look at the prep from both coaches, I think it is astronomical. It is really indicative of how much above they are, like how much above the cut they are from the average player. Yeah, I mean, like, there's not much I can say. I can sit here and sing their praises all day. I think they're both fantastic players. I think it was a great game. I think that it was a well-deserved finals, but that's it. That's the WBE Finals. We will be back with WBE content hopefully very soon. There's talks about when the new season is going to start up. Nothing is set in stone yet. If you would like to know, or if you would like updates, we will provide those when we get them. I will stay in contact with you. If you want to talk to me about any of this, please remember I am streaming here on YouTube. We're actually going to live stream kind of like a watch party of the finals matches tomorrow or today. I'm recording this yesterday. We're watching it tomorrow, but it's today for you. We're going to be streaming that tonight, kind of talking about it, talking about the matchup a little bit more in depth, kind of like reacting to the play-by-plays. So yeah, if that sounds exciting and you just want to talk to me, show up to the live stream. It would mean the absolute most. It'll be here on YouTube. Subscribe and turn those notifications on. That's it for me though. This was the match. I think it was fantastic. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed this kind of like WBE playoff recap series. I had a lot of fun doing it. I got a lot of support doing it, and that means a ton. But yeah, thank you so much for all the support this season. I have lots of fun Pokemon content planned moving forward. The next video you should see will be Pokemon if they were Among Us colors or something similar to that. I'm just giving you a little teaser here. My name is Vivid. I'm kind of done here. I have to leave. Thank you so much once again. The support's been insane. Okay, bye. Oh, you made it to the end of the video. That's dope. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to see more from me and make it to the end of those videos, there will be a video here and a video here. This one is a video that I think is really good, and this is what YouTube recommends, so you should watch one of them. Okay, thanks.